Why weren't Native Americans the primary slave population in America? Great question. The Native Americans were the indigenous people who lived in large numbers in the United States. Why weren't they made the slaves? Why did the Americans, the European colonizers, occupiers, why did they import African slaves? That's a great question. The reason is simple. The natives had large population groups. They could always escape and get refuge with one of these population groups. Even if you had different tribes, but they still all regarded the white man as the oppressor, as the occupier. And the Native Americans, they knew the geography of the region very well, of the entire continent essentially. They were very well adapted for thousands of years to the climate. So it was very hard to control them. And they were very good at escaping. And if they escaped, they would be fine. They would not die out. If an African origin slave escaped, he essentially faced almost certain death. The Africans were not adapted to the climate. They did not understand the geography of the region. They would be either recaptured or they would just die from exposure to the elements, the climate. It's not like Native Americans weren't enslaved. Native Americans were also enslaved. But eventually the Europeans decided that the African slaves were a better investment. Right? And eventually the natives were massacred and their populations declined drastically. So it made sense to have Africans come, and Africans were sturdier and maybe more reliable slaves. So a combination of these factors ensured that it was lucrative and seen as a good investment to have African slaves instead of enslaving large numbers of Native Americans. Natives were also enslaved in large numbers, but eventually Africans were preferred because of these reasons.